Hi, all the signs of the Zodiac. I'm Pam, and welcome to your psychic crystal reading for the Venus in Retrograde 2018. I decided to do this because I know that so many people are struggling during this time because Venus in Retrograde, which happens every 19 months and lasts for about 6 weeks, and then there's a shadow period a month before and a month after, can bring up a lot of struggles from the past. It can bring the past into, and you have to deal with it now. It's going to probably be something that happened in 2010 or that occurred for you around 18 months ago that you're going to be, it's going to come back and you're going to be struggling with it. You're going to be analyzing it, pulling it apart, dealing with it. Figuring out how you can clear it out, and then once Venus goes direct on November 16th, and especially after the shadow in the middle of December, how you are going to move forward. There's going to be a lot of tension here, and I'm doing this late because I originally wasn't going to do it, but with so many clients and comments and things that I get from people on my Facebook page and the comments underneath the videos and clients that I'm talking to, so many people are struggling right now. And it's not just because of what's going on now. This is also to do with the 3 eclipses we had in the summer. Some of them are getting triggered now. And the, Mars retrograde that happened, and that was a powerful one. So we're in a really transformational time right now. And this Venus in retrograde is going to bring up tension and stress, and we're going to transform it so that we can move forward to like a better, brighter future and payoff. Because we have to clear out these things that Venus in retrograde is bringing up. And don't be surprised if people come back from your past. It could be past loves or people you had karmic stuff with from the past could crop back up, and they may act as a mirror to you in some regards, and you're going to have to look at it. And please know that your thinking may be quite cloudy and foggy during Venus in retrograde. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it all while it's going on. You're going to feel more clear about it as it goes direct, after it goes direct. So I wanted to do this video for those of you out there that are struggling, and I'm looking into my crystal and I'm going to give you predictions and messages from my spirit guides about how each sign of the zodiac is getting affected from this Venus in retrograde. So hopefully these messages are going to be helpful and useful to you. And I had to record a new intro here. So my hair is down in this one, but in the videos, my hair is in a braid. That was because I had audio complications at the beginning of the intro to this video. So I hope these readings are going to make sense. Now onto your psychic crystal reading for the Venus in retrograde 2018. And the first sign I'm starting with is Aries. I feel that Aries, you're going to start looking back over the past and see how many people you may have felt have let you down. You may have even felt forced at times to do things that you didn't really want to do. You may have felt like, I don't know, like you were compelled to do it or you were forced to do it. And I feel like things are happening to you right now where you've got this dynamic where you want a lot of things to be different or you want you to be different. And I feel like you're going to be making big changes to do that. And try your best not to get upset over the little tiny things that may come up that may just really want to annoy you during this Venus in retrograde, because it's going to be more important for you to focus on a much bigger picture than the little tiny things that may pop up to bug you. Stabilizing your income is going to be a big focus for some of you Aries. So money and stabilizing your finances moving forward is something that seems to be on your mind. Be cautious now, Aries, that you don't jump to conclusions about people and their motives or what they're doing. Because you may have a tendency to jump to some conclusions. And as I said in the intro, you know, your thinking may be foggy. Venus in retrograde does not make thinking necessarily clear, and it can be quite overwhelming. And, you know, when you find if somebody does something that pops up that really seems to annoy you or bother you, it's a good time to like kind of put it aside and wait until Venus in retrograde, till Venus goes direct. And maybe even after the shadow period in December. Not just wait till November. Maybe you need to wait till the middle of December before you decide like if you want to act or say something to somebody that's annoying you. Because I don't know that it's going to really work out maybe the way you would hope. This is like going to be, this Venus in retrograde to me, for you, feels like it's almost like jumper cables, like attaching to your life in some manner. So I hope those messages helped you. Now onto the sign of Taurus. You know, for Tauruses, you may be having a little bit of a bout of depression. You may be feeling a little depressed while Venus is in retrograde. And you may have this energy like you're antsy, like you're, or anxiety, like you're waiting for something to get going or to go somewhere. Even if there isn't really something that you are waiting for or is ready to get going or go somewhere, you may just feel that way. And I feel like some of you are going to be asked to look back and think back on the past 6 months about important conversations you had with people. Like, what did you say to them? What did they say to you? But more importantly, what did you say to them? Because I feel like you're going to start, I know it could go back to 18 months ago. So really, I could say over the last 18 months, some important conversation that you had. But it really feels to me, they're saying, the guides are saying in the crystal, that it would have been 6 months ago. So it would have been an important conversation, and you may want to rethink those words. I'm not saying you're going to. It's like to undo what you said, but it's important to review what you said, and then when Venus goes direct, if you think that you gave bad advice or that you don't agree with what you said to them then, you may want to, at that time, go back and say something to them. You may also find, Taurus, that there could be somebody that disconnects with you at this time during Venus in retrograde, where they disconnect from you or they stop talking to you. Doesn't mean it's going to stick that way, but it may come up for you. And this could be love. It could be a love relationship, or it could be a friend. Could even be a family member that's mad at you for some reason. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean it's love just because it's Venus. It could be some other type of relationship. Some of you Tauruses may have a new relationship coming in, but I feel like if you can wait to get on with it after Venus goes direct, it would be much better, because short-lived relationships can really come up if they start during Venus in retrograde. I feel like you're going to have the tendency to want to make snap decisions while this Venus in retrograde is happening. And if you get that sudden urge, Taurus, like, you get this offer or opportunity, something comes quick, like to make this purchase, to take that job, to do this, to change something in the house, don't make snap decisions right now. I feel like you're going to come to regret it, especially if it has to do with redecorating your home or moving or some beautification, getting a tattoo, getting plastic surgery. That's not advised while Venus is in retrograde. Avoid snap decisions right now. So now I'm going to look into the sign of Gemini. You know, during this Venus in retrograde, Gemini, you may be feeling like you would like to find some new friends, or to get yourself out of some kind of rut that you're in. I feel like that's going to be some of the energy kicking up for you. You might also start spending some money on putting the polish on making something old new again. It could be old furniture you could be having refinished. It could be, something to do with, I don't know. It feels like objects to me, not your appearance, but it could be your wardrobe. But, you know, be careful doing anything like that during this Venus in retrograde because you might not like it after you do it. But I feel like if you already have the objects and you want to refinish them, reupholster them, repurpose old things that you already have, rebuild something if you have wood in your house or your yard. I feel like you'll be okay with that if you're repurposing things you already have. But it does come up that that's a desire for some of you Geminis. I see some of you Geminis taking stopping and standing still and going, what have I been doing with my life? In general, you might be having like broad life questions like, am I on the right path of job? Do I want to keep doing this? Or am I in the right country or state or town? Like big, like, what am I doing with my life? And oddly enough, in the crystal, I saw a tall ship. So I don't know exactly what to make of that, but that's the message that came up when I saw the, tall mast ships. I feel like Geminis, you're really going to do some real self-discovery and self-analysis. And I do feel many of you Geminis are going to be digging deep into something about yourself, what makes you tick, or why you react to things the way you do. I feel it's actually an exciting time for you Geminis because I feel like once Venus goes direct, you're having some kind of life rebirth. And if you don't see it immediately right when it goes direct, I feel in the next few months following it, you will have this energetic rebirth, or your life will be changed and have a rebirth in some manner. You may even decide during this Venus in retrograde to go haul out old newspaper clippings of your life or people in your family that have been in the newspaper, or like scrapbook things together or make some binder of some sort. Because I also see you going through old family albums, papers and newspaper articles and things you wanted to save, or write-ups about yourself or people, and putting it together. So I hope that helped you. Now onto the sign of Cancer. I feel like you might be worrying too much, Cancer, worrying about way too many things. And make sure you're not making mountains out of molehills, or like you're just finding yourself fretting and worrying about way too many things. That's the first energy I get here for you. You're going to have some discoveries. Some of you are going to find some things that were lost, will come back during this Venus in retrograde. Another thing I see for you Cancers is some of you are going to find out some things about some people that you were connected to, or that you are connected to, and that you know, and you may investigate and do some digging on it yourself, or it could just pop out on its own. But I also feel that there's some investigations here. You're going to find some things that were lost. You're also going to find some things out about some people. Be careful if you start any new love relationships, because I do feel you may get some real strong promises from people right now, and that I don't feel it's going to pan out well at all. I actually get it's like I hear the words torrential rain. So I feel like if they're promising you the world and they're telling you all these great things that are going to come up and happen for you, that once Venus goes direct, you're going to feel like you're in a rainstorm, that it's not going to feel like what you thought during the Venus in retrograde. I also feel that some of you Cancers are going to start studying hard about something during this Venus in retrograde, and you may start to put the energy towards getting an advanced degree. It could also be studying to get some kind of certificate or something, a license, a permit, a certificate, an advanced degree. But I see a lot of you Cancer studying during this Venus in retrograde period, and I actually feel that would be an excellent use of this energy. You may go visit some other city or go visit a foreign country, but a city. I see you going to visit a city. Some of you may also experience some upset stomach or stomach troubles while Venus is in retrograde. So make sure you have plenty of antacids, Tums, whatever you, Pepsid AC, whatever you like to take, or natural remedies, because your stomach may, at some juncture over this time period that Venus is in retrograde, this 6 weeks, and even in the shadow afterwards, which is a month long, you may have issues with your stomach hiccup. So I hope this reading was of help. Now on to the sign of Leo. Leo, I feel that this Venus in retrograde is going to make you feel like you're burdened by other people and responsibilities, either to them or just other responsibilities. I get burdened by people and responsibilities. I see you quick thinking and dropping everything on a dime. I don't know what's making you do that. It could be to go help somebody, or it could be just, I'm not really sure what happens. I get some of you may have thyroid issues that are going to kick up during Venus in retrograde. Be careful that you don't spend too much time listening to other people's problems and gossip. I get that's going to kick up for you during this Venus in retrograde, Leo. Some of you that are in a fairly new relationship, and it could even be a long-term relationship, but I feel like for most of you, it would be a fairly new one. I get some of you are going to get some kind of bombshell dropped on you. That maybe it doesn't, bombshell makes it sound negative. It just might be like, whoa, I can't believe that they told me that. And it could be something about their family or some big news that happened. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bombshell that's going to rock your world, but it could be like some kind of like dramatic thing that they say to you that you didn't expect, clearly, because it's a bombshell. I do see some of you Leos rethinking your position about something that you signed up for or agreed to do. This could be a job opportunity, something at work, something at your kid's school, something else, or even in a love relationship. But whatever you signed up for, you agreed for, you may have second thoughts about that during this Venus in retrograde. And I do see that some of you Leos are getting quite sick and tired of stumbling blocks that have been created by other people. I see this fancy, elegant lady like from the, I don't know, the 1700s in the crystal when they're saying that. So I don't know why she came up with that message, but she brought the message and she's saying, you've kind of had it with stumbling blocks that have been created by other people for you. So I feel like Venus in retrograde is going to have you focusing on that. And these other things that I mentioned, you may see some of them. Now, keep in mind, this is a general reading, and some of you Leos may be like, I'm not seeing any of that. But see what you think after Venus goes direct and see if these messages made sense. So now I'm going on to the sign of Virgo. You know, I do see some of you Virgos are going to be looking behind your shoulder and you're going to be leaving people in the dust. So that may be a weird message to you, but I feel like you're going to be accelerating and moving ahead pretty quickly. So if you have any competition, you're going to be leaving them in the dust for some reason during this Venus in retrograde period. Some of you Virgos, I feel, are going to struggle with feeling maybe put down by other people or feelings of insecurity. And I see some of you Virgos saying to yourself, why do I question so many things? Why do I question so many people's motives? Why do I question, and maybe like ultimately you may think, well, I really have good reason to. Look what this one did. Look what that one did. There was a woman in the crystal that had a fancy feathered hat on that gave that message. Some of you Virgos may be reaching out back to the past to try to find past loves. Maybe not necessarily to connect with them again to reignite a love or a sexual relationship. Maybe you're just going to do it because you want to talk to them again, see how they're doing, get their opinions about something. But I see some of you Virgos wanting to reach back to the past, to past loves. If you're not literally trying to get in touch with them, you may be just spending a lot of time thinking about past loves during this Venus in retrograde. If you're a if you're a Virgo during this Venus in retrograde period, I feel that some of you may enter some kind of contest. And if you do, I feel you're going to win. And if any one of you had, I heard it as a branch of your family tree that is missing, they will be found. So let me explain this. If there is someone that is actually literally missing, I feel they're going to get found. Or if you were doing genealogy and trying to trace back in your history and your family lineage, somebody from your family lineage is going to get found. So that came up here for you. And in general, I do see you Virgos having conversations with people from your past or someone you knew long ago. It does come up here. So at some point during this 6-week period, and maybe even in the shadow period after, which is about a month, you may have this happen. So I hope that was of some help. Now on to the sign of Libra. Libras, you're itching to say something to somebody during this Venus in retrograde. And I also want to say, you know, this is in your sign. It's in Scorpio and Libra. So it may be interesting for you, this Venus in retrograde. I feel like you're going to want to tell people how you feel about them. I get this really strong sense of wanting to be direct. You're going to want to be direct with them. Now, this could be in a positive way. Maybe you want to tell people that how much you love them and how happy you are with them, or how much they mean to you, which would be awesome to do during Venus in retrograde. But some of you may have the urge that you want to tell somebody, be direct in a different kind of way. Like, this is what I think. You know, you might want to be direct in that manner as well. Some of you Venus, why do I keep wanting to say Venus? Some of you Libras may feel like you have either too much on your plate, you need support, or you're not getting enough help or support, or all of the above during this transit. And I do feel that some of you Libras are going to be spending some energy thinking about, how can I do things better? Maybe even how can I make more money also, but I get some of you thinking like, how can I do things better? How can I improve what I'm doing, improve my situation, improve like the work you're doing and such like that. I do feel that some of you Libras are going to have a whole new outlook on life once it goes direct, and you may be making amends with somebody from the past, somebody you maybe had a falling out with or crossed words with, or you haven't seen in a really long time. You may be reconnecting with them or making some kind of amends with them. Some of you Libras, which I find surprising at this message, but I feel that what I'm hearing is you may be needing to take time to really examine how you feel. That you may have been trying to wall off or box yourself off or not feel things as much as usual. I find that a little hard to believe because I have some Libra relatives I know really, really well, and feelings were always close to the surface with them. So I don't know, but it's coming up here. You may be trying to box it off or wall it off, and this may be something you need to not do during this Venus in retrograde. So I hope those messages were of help to you, Libra. Now on to the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio, I feel like you have 50 million things to do, and you're feeling like you're pulled in all different directions during this Venus in retrograde. And I feel that one of the things that the guides are saying here is try not to be so focused on and be particular. This may be a time to try to focus on getting more relaxed and letting some things go. And this could be around your environment. Maybe you're somebody that's like has to have everything perfect and clean, all the time and just so and orderly, or maybe that's in other ways. Maybe you're particular about other things, and now they're saying it's time to like think about just letting some of this go during this Venus in retrograde. You may feel like you're tired of hearing complaining. And you may have people around you that want to come up and give you complaints. Or maybe that's something that's been going on for a while. Like people are always complaining. I don't like this for dinner. I don't want to eat that. I don't want to go to soccer. I don't want to go to this college. I don't like this job. I don't want to live here anymore. Why this or blah, blah, blah. Whatever they're complaining about, I'm getting like you may feel like you don't want to hear this anymore. You know, I really do feel like out of all the signs I've read so far, you're getting really strong guidance from your guides and angels around you that are really they want you to pay attention to them especially. Like, I feel like they're trying to communicate with you and they want you to listen to what they're saying to you. For those of you that are single, I do feel you may have some new hot love that's going to come in, but God for you, I really, really pray that it's after Venus goes direct, because I don't know, sometimes they can work out. I'm not saying no, but I really hope that you can wait. But I hope it comes in right as it goes direct for you, because I do see one coming. They didn't say it was coming in during the Venus in retrograde, but you got one real close. So maybe this will be good for you. You'll get through the Venus in retrograde period and the new love will come in for those of you that are single. So I hope this message was of help to you, Scorpios. Now onto the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you really need to believe in yourself more. And I also feel like you've been losing hope about something. So believe in yourself more and try to have hope. You know, once Venus goes direct, I really feel that many of you Sagittarians are going to have like some kind of accumulation of wealth is going to be coming to you. Doesn't mean it just, is going to fall in your lap in November 16th or after the shadow in December. It may take a couple of months. Maybe it's going to hit in January, but you got some money coming your way. Some of you may feel like you're grieving, or lonely, and a little bit of depression. And I feel like you may be asking yourself that, why? Especially if you have a significant other or you have people around you. Sometimes you can feel like lonely in a crowd of people. That is possible for people to feel that way. And I kind of feel like you're kind of going over loneliness feelings of some sort, or grieving, or lonely and grieving both. I do see you putting the pedal on the metal. I don't know whether it's during the retrograde or after, about like how you can improve what you're doing for work, how you can, make more money, or how you can improve and achieve more. Like your will and your drive. I don't know, you may feel bouts of it during this Venus in retrograde, but I feel like once it goes direct, you're really going to be pushing forward on a lot of agendas that you have. If you're feeling inclined to drink or take medications or to numb pain, I hope that you can not go that route. You may feel like you want to feel numb during this period. But you know what? It doesn't last that long, and we're going to be getting out of it fairly soon. So if you can hang in there. Some of you may have experienced a gigantic family upheaval, or maybe it wasn't gigantic, but some kind of family upheavals that may have recently gone on have brought up some kind of stress for you. Now, that could have happened before, like 18 months ago. It could have happened right before the Venus in retrograde. It could even be happening during the Venus in retrograde. But this could be something that's adding to the mix of the things that you're feeling during this Venus in retrograde. So I hope this message was of help to you. Now I'm going to look into the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn, you may have some feelings coming up of like nervousness, anxiety, tension. This could all be driven up by this Venus in retrograde. You may find yourself looking over documents, papers, important papers of some sort. You may go through a real bout of teaching, educating, trying to show people how to do things. And it could be new people coming into your job. That could be what your job is. Could be something extra you're doing as a sideline. You're going to start teaching and educating and training people. I feel this Venus in retrograde is going to really have you focusing about your appearance. Like, how do I look? Do I like my hair? Do I like my weight? Do I like my clothes? Like, I feel like that's one of the things that some of you Capricorns are going to start focusing on is your outward appearance. I see some of you thinking that you need to make plans to get away. So you could even start planning a vacation. It doesn't mean you're going to take it. You could be taking it during the Venus in retrograde, but I feel like you're going to make the plans to take this getaway, this trip. Don't be surprised. Some of you Capricorns might even get proposed during this Venus in retrograde. It's possible for some of you. You have a big heart that came up here in the crystal. Be cautious because there could be somebody that has jealousy or anger. It may not even be at you. It could be that may say something to you because they're feeling jealous and angry. But it's not, for some of you, it could be at you. But some of you, they may be feeling that way about somebody else and they're just telling you that, talking to you about it. Some of you are going to be working out new deals to do with business or your work or something that you want to get going. So working out new deals also comes up for some of you Capricorns. And if you've been struggling, Capricorn, I do feel that once this Venus goes direct, you're going to feel much better about yourself all the way around, energetically speaking, once we get out of this Venus in retrograde period. So now I'm going to look into the sign of Aquarius. Aquarians, I feel like you're feeling a bit blue and a little out of sorts during this Venus in retrograde. And I see you feeling a little bit of bewilderment about why and how things are changing. Some of you are having some regrets. You're regretting some things that you've done or said way back in the past, not recent. You know, you kind of feel like, to me, like you wish there could be some kind of rectification of it. But, you know, as the old saying goes, you can't unring a bell. Some of you may be doing some sort of studying, and it could also involve metaphysical studies and meditation. And I do feel that some of your focus is on, I don't know if I want to say how to be a better person, but maybe to become more spiritually in tune with yourself. It would be a great time, this Venus in retrograde, for you to get any kind of counseling, spiritual counseling, or considering to do hypnosis or hypnosis that does past life regression would be really beneficial for you, Aquarius. I do see some of you starting some new project, plan, or endeavor, like a horse running out of the gate at a starting line once Venus goes direct. You're going to start doing something. It could be a major exercise program and diet. It could be a new business or something new in a business you already own, or sending resumes out, well, they don't do it like I'm old school. We used to mail them, but, sending them out en masse in emails. Like you're doing something, like some big push forward that you're going to do. You're going to be the engine driving that train when Venus goes direct. So I hope those messages were of help to you. Now into the sign of Pisces. Pisces, I see that you're looking at your demons from the past and you're confronting them. And you're also thinking about how much did you contribute to some of the things that have gone on that are part of that. Some of you Pisces are really focusing very strongly on how you can channel energies. So you may actually be working on making connections with spirit guides and angels and wanting to do some kind of channeling work, some of you Pisces. Some of you Pisces are struggling with how many times you've had your heart broken, or people have blown you off, or brushed you off, or overlooked you, or passed over you in either love relationships, friend situations, family, and even in work. I see you're like focusing on any time where you feel like you've been slighted, overlooked, pushed aside, all of that. I do feel that some of you Pisces are struggling a little bit with, I'm going to call it bruised ego. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I feel like many of you, I understand why you would feel that way. But the one thing I see when Venus goes direct is I do feel that many of you Pisces are going to feel like it's almost like your ego is getting repaired or healed. And you're starting to see that some of the things that made you start to question or feel bad about yourself may be shortcomings and issues and problems that are really with the people that were actually doing it to you. You may have already thought that anyway, but I feel like it's going to be really apparent to you what parts you played in it and what parts are at the shortcomings or of the people that were the perpetrators that did this, that made you feel less than or have this feeling of lack or insecurity or bruised your ego. And I do see that some of you Pisces are going to start writing or journaling or keeping a track of something or a record of something. I don't know what it's about. It could be your life. It could be psychic experiences. It could be things you notice, signs you notice, or dreams you have, or a multitude of things. But that also comes up here for you Pisces during this Venus in retrograde period. Now, I just want to say, I hope all this helped you. I hope it did. I don't know if it did. But if you would like to get more information about how this Venus in retrograde is directly going to affect your sign beyond what I got here in the crystal, I'm doing readings on Vimeo, where I'm going to pull 3 cards for each sign of the zodiac from this Aquarian tarot deck. Okay, I'm going to pull 3 cards from that, and I'm going to listen to my spirit guides and focus on how those, whatever they want to tell me. I don't know what they're going to tell me. Each of the 3 cards, who knows what's going to come up? I don't know. But hopefully it's going to help you and give you more insights. And I know I'm a little late into this Venus in retrograde, but however, keep in mind, whatever happens during this transit, this is a big deal, this Venus in retrograde transit in particular. And so whatever happens now, whatever you're struggling with and whatever you're working through, and then when it goes forward and direct, it's not going to be like that's the end of it, because there are things that are now going to change and happen and move forward after it does go direct that are going to have repercussions that are going to last for a long time. It's not going to be like, okay, that's done and over with. Yeah, the retrograde's over with, but not what is going to come out of it afterwards. So that's some of what I'm going to find out through these Aquarian tarot deck for you over on Vimeo. So if you're interested in that, please go check it out. I want to thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking my videos. Thank you for subscribing and for Google Plusing. I do truly appreciate that. And please be sure to subscribe. That way you'll get notified when I upload my videos here to YouTube. And if you're interested in getting the special videos that I recorded in the middle of October, I have another series I did titled Spirit Animal Messages and Gemstone Crystal Readings for each sign of the zodiac. They're of kind of a little bit of a more spiritual bent to them, but there is predictions in them. It's not just spiritual messages. There is spiritual messages and predictions. I used what did I do there? 2 cards from the Stephen Farmer Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides Tarot Oracle deck. And I used my gemstone crystals. I have a purple velvet bag of gemstones, and I drew a stone specifically for your sign, and then psychically read the stone, as well as read, actually give you facts about the stone, but then I psychically read the stone as to why it would be good for you to carry the stone or work with the stone or use the stone. So those readings are available by clicking on the other link below this video, and they'll take you to the videos on Vimeo. And I also have my psychic crystal readings available for the month of October 2018 for each sign of the zodiac, and that link for Vimeo is also below this video. And you can get all of these videos on my website, www.theluckymermaid.com. Click on the videos tab on my menu, and these will be probably the first 3 video series listed at the top of the page. You just find your sign, click on it, and it will take you to that video on Vimeo for download and purchase. So I hope you have many wonderful and beautiful blessings from this Venus in retrograde. Even though it may feel difficult while it's happening, the blessings will be, the payoff will be great once it goes direct. And know that I wish you many blessings and peace.